Hello everyone, this is Enzo Eigen of the Alliance for Loki, and this is a review on the new champion Tigra. So I was lucky enough to pull her as a 5-star, which I hope many of you saw that video. It was very exciting. I just got her from the early access bundles. And she's a pretty interesting champion, so I have spent sort of this afternoon playing her and some the previous 2 days. I'm trying to figure out all of her abilities and how she works. She has two things I think make her pretty unique, and one is that when she charges her heavy attack, she can have non-contact specials miss her, and the other thing is the way her specials work. So I'm just doing a damage test here against Winter Soldier. This is around 100 hits. So you can see she's done 82% damage, and so based on my testing, this is pretty average. She's running just by herself. No one else is on her team, so there's no synergies, no boost. I am running a Mystic Dispersion build because I was curious to see how that would work with her. A little bit interesting is that she has what's called a neutralize, and you see it's up a lot. You see the text a lot, and that neutralize prevents them from getting buffs, but I don't think that actually activates Mystic Dispersion, so a little bit interesting. Here you can just see the demonstration of her missing mechanic when she's charging her heavy. It's really cool and awesome. The thing that becomes difficult is trying to figure out how to use the heavy attack that you're holding afterwards, and that I really never quite would say I figured out a good way of playing that in all cases. So it's sort of a risk just because you often get hit or counterattacked, or just puts you in a very sort of strange position. And so this is the end of the fight. I just wanted to see how many hits it would take to get this Winter Soldier down, and I'm not sure if I really played her very well, but again, it's just trying to get a sense of how her damage is. And so overall it took her, let's see what it is, 335 hits, which again, it's alright. It's not that great. I went in with Doom. I just wanted to see what Doom was like versus Winter Soldier. Again, totally by himself, Mystic Dispersion build, 5 out of 5. And I just was curious how much damage he would do at the 100 hit mark and then for the kill. So I had to go in a couple of times just because I lost my combo. But yeah, luckily I fast forward everything through here though, finally managed to be able to actually do the fight. I mean, I do know how to use Doom, I'd say, a little bit more effectively than Tigra, so this could be a little bit skewed. But you see around 100 hits, I mean, he's down 59%, so I mean, a huge amount of damage difference with Doom. And Doom, of course, is one of the most powerful characters in the game right now, the most powerful Mystic by far, and so of course I was expecting him to do much damage, and so yeah, you can see I get the KO, and what does it take? 229 hits. So she's not nearly as good as damage dealer as Doom, but that's not surprising. So I want to spend the next part of this video really looking at her heavy miss ability. And so I'm going to fight this Joe Fix-It. So this is the no retreat in Act 5. So it's a little tricky to maneuver around it, but it's not too bad. And he's a really good character to deal with this. So the thing I've noticed about this mechanic is it's really nice for champions who sort of have like a some type of hit attack, like that one, and then you can just get your miss ready. You can see there after I released my heavy, he's far enough away as sort of nothing happened. I just did my heavy and he stayed away from me and everything was okay. Because again, I actually blocked the first attack, and again you can see I get counterattacked by my heavy. So this is again the problem with that mechanic is what to do with that heavy. And you know, trying to heavy intercept I feel like is a pretty difficult and inconsistent method. You know, if you have your SP3 ready like I did there, you could go right into the SP3, which actually is a pretty good way of playing it. And yeah, overall, again, that's I think the hardest part of that mechanic, but it works really well against, you know, Winter Soldier and Joe Fix-It, because again, they do those physical attacks first and then they do the projectile attacks afterwards. And so on those champions, it works really well. So then I want to try, then I want to look at one more time and get the kill. And so yeah, it's a really cool mechanic. There are several champions in this game: Joe Fix-It, War Machine, Punisher. Trying to think, there's a whole list of characters who have basically nearly unevadable specials, or specials that are so difficult to evade that you would not want to use them at all. So this was sort of an interesting fight. I just tried against Spider-Man just to see what it was like. And again, his is really strange because he throws projectiles first, which you can miss, but then he follows it up with physical attacks, and so I couldn't find a way around it, to be honest. So I just wanted to look at one other synergy that I thought was interesting. All the synergies are okay, but this one, this Feline Possession, which is either Black Panther, Civil War, or regular Black Panther, allows her, when she has a rupture on, to not allow the opponent to get unstoppables. And so the best way to get a rupture on, there's a couple of different ways. Heavy attack hits after they miss. I think there's maybe there's special 1 or special 2. But if you do her special 3, you get an indefinite rupture. And so here I do the special 3, and then you'll notice after the animations are complete, he'll have this rupture charge on him. And this then means that his unstoppables will never proc. And so there it is. It's that permanent debuff on him, and then you can see when he throws his throws his special attack, it's nullified. So that's really cool. At this point, I've gone actually back to a suicide build, so I would be a little curious if in this mode that you get the Mystic Dispersion benefit. And you can see again he threw the special 1 and it nullified. So it's an interesting synergy. To be honest, I don't think it's that useful just because it's sort of hard to get the ruptures up. When you do it during the fight, they just have such a short time that they don't really last that long. And then on the SP3, it just takes a while to get to that. So it's too long an ability to reasonably use. So here I'm against this Punisher. This Punisher is a great fight because, of course, he is, just like all those characters, has those special attacks that have really hard to evade projectiles. And so here I tried to evade the SP2 and it doesn't work at all. That's a problem. If they start with a projectile, it's really difficult to get into your heavy quick enough to dodge it. I wanted to try this again just to see if I could actually make it work at all. And so I went in again and was going to push him to his SP2 at some point during this fight just to see if it would work. So again, I've gotten the regular one down pretty well. You know, it works again. It works great because he starts off with those physical attacks. But here, okay, he's all set. And notice what I do here once he throws a special. I dex the first one and I immediately get him a miss. And it works because there's that pause between his first attack with the projectile, and then which you can dex, and then he pauses and brings out his second one, the like multi-hit machine gun attack. So it's a really interesting mechanic, but it's very, very dependent on the champion. And so some it works really well against, like, you know, here against his SP1 it works great. Against Spider-Man, I'm not sure if it really works because the projectiles come first against the Yellow Jacket, since the projectiles fire off and there's no physical attack on this SP1. It doesn't work, and you know, again, and then you have this problem here. You can see I got counterattacked off the heavy. So it's almost there. I think it's an amazing, cool idea. I think it's really fun to play with, and I really had a good time testing it out. But overall, it's just not really usable, I would say. It's just so specialized. So I tried to activate my heavy there. You can see I totally got hit by his SP1. So it wasn't affected there when they start off with a projectile attack. Then I got the power sting on me just because I wanted to try it again. I had a little bit of difficulty. I kept on actually dexing his SP1 just because I was trying to bait it at the same time. But you see, it works great against the SP2 because he starts with the physical hit first and then moves into the projectile attack. Unfortunately, I got counterattack trying to heavy him, so that was not so great. But as I said, yeah, really cool, really interesting. It just doesn't quite work. So here I decided to go in against Winter Soldier again. I really want to look at her specials. So here I threw her SP1, and if you're away from the opponent, you get unblockable. But the SP1, she sort of hops forward, and I think I lose that unblockable then, and then he blocked it. And so it's sort of weird. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on. The SP2 is sort of the same way. As long as you're far away, it becomes unblockable, so it's great. There it's unblockable. Then she moves far away, it becomes unblockable again. And then I believe she moves away. No, okay, that's the last of it. So I think it's a 5 or 6 hit special. And just really interesting how it works. So here I stay far away, I miss it, but I think because he's in the middle of his attack, I managed to not get it blocked. So The SP1 is definitely not as effective as the SP2. Like the SP1, I feel like you want to play as normal, but the SP2, you just want to step away, fire it, and then since he springs forward and back, it just, the unblockable resets itself each time, and so you always have the entire attack unblockable. I sort of, at this point, figured out how I like to play her. So I am running Suicides right now, and I like spamming the SP1. You can see it's doing pretty good damage. That's a 10,000 crit there, along with the other hit she has. And then keep on activating those two passives she has. So one is called, I think it's the Huntress, and the other one is called Primal Sense. And they give you a little bit of interesting abilities. I would say the Primal Sense one for me is a little more interesting in that when she does a Rupture, which means she attacks with her heavy after a miss, I believe, can't remember if the SP1 or SP2 does it, but when she ruptures you gain 10% of a bar of power. So there I ruptured twice, so I believe I should have gotten 20% power of a bar of power, which is pretty cool. And I did notice in this fight it seemed like my power bar was growing more quick than normal, and so yeah, I would like to think that was the reason why. And again, look how quickly the power bar grew there. I think it's because of those ruptures. So the spamming the SP1 is cool, and if you're using that one, it's to do it sort of like a normal attack. I wouldn't try to rely on the unblockable, but if you really want to need to hit an opponent, the SP2 is perfect. Just take a step back and you basically are almost guaranteed to hit them as you just go right through their blocks. And so you can see this time 155 times it took me to kill them. Granted, I have Suicides on, which of course makes the fight a lot faster. And I think I was just playing her a lot better, more the style you want to play her, but it basically cut her attack time down in half when I had that set up. So my final thoughts are overall a very fun champion. I think she's pretty interesting, and again, I think she really fits Kavan's models of the 2020 characters being unique and different and very balanced. Like, she definitely isn't overpowered in any way. She does good damage when I think you do that spamming SP1, and you know, the SP2 is really cool because of the way it becomes unblockable at distance, and of course when she charges a heavy, you know, she can make non-contact projectile specials miss. That's a lot of criteria. The difficulties with her is like how to deal with that heavy you're holding after you miss attacks, and also it seems like only very specific types of specials are you able to really use the charge heavy miss ability. You know, again, as I said, if they're a projectile right away, I don't know if you can or not. When I tried it, I couldn't. And yeah, overall, I feel like she's really close. I feel like if they made it maybe some small adjustments, I almost wish it was if she held block that she was not able to it, or if she was unstoppable when she threw her heavy. I don't know, or was undestructible when she threw her heavy. Just something that protected her just a little bit more. The other thing is, yeah, I would like to see her be able to miss all those non-contact specials. So they'd have to figure out a way that that champions who threw the specials right away without doing a physical attack first, you could either put it on quicker, or again, like I think if you held the block, that'd be a better way of using it. So again, interesting champion, really cool, liked her, but just wasn't quite there. And so that's my champion review for Tigra. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. This is Enzo Eigen at Alliance for Loki, wishing you a good day. Bye bye.
Trust me if you must, but know that I can't trust myself. This story is never ending. Everything at play, the landscape mind bending.